Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? What's up, everybody, and welcome to my channel. This is your boy Cute, the Content Guy, and I am back for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 13. I have recently ordered me a green screen. It's very, very big, though, so I don't know how I'm going to set this up, but needless to say, I'm going to set it up and I'm going to start having some cool backgrounds and all that good stuff. But anyway, let's get into the episode, people. So this episode was really based about Lisa Rinna, and she hasn't really had a lot of screen time, and we have not been crying about her not being on the screen. We've actually enjoyed it. And I guess she felt as though since she hasn't really been bringing anything the last few seasons, like, let her go ahead and turn up. So, yeah. She's invited the ladies to her house for a wine tasting. Kyle, Crystal, and Lizard Lips they all have COVID, so they will not be part of this episode. And I must say it was a very refreshing episode to see Lizard Lips. I think this is the second episode that we've not seen Lizard Lips, and I quite enjoy it. Sutton's at home with her kids, and she's making chicken salad. Her son Philip is leaving for college soon, so she's just pretty much talking with the kids and talking about their summer, and she's just happy to be in their presence. She shared with us that Philip wanted to go to the military at first, but she sent him down to Georgia, and he came back saying he wanted to go to college. So now he's going to like a military college school. So they both kind of got their way. It was a cute scene. It was good to see her kids. It was good to see her at home, just having a good time. Garcelle is out with Dorito, and they're out at lunch. And Garcelle shares that she's recording her book. She's doing a voiceover for her book. And she said, there's stuff in there that she hasn't talked about, like her experience with Bill Cosby. So that was interesting to hear. We all know how disgusting and nasty Bill Cosby is. Actually, the Cosby Show is not allowed in my household except for one episode, and that's the episode where Vanessa goes to Baltimore for big fun. Let's see, you had big fun, didn't you? You had donuts in Wilmington. Oh, sorry. That's the only episode of the Cosby Show that's allowed in my house. So, I'm interested. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Garcelle was on an episode of the Cosby Show or something, but I am interested. I think she shared the story, but I don't remember it. But yeah, so that's interesting. She brings up about she asked Dorito about PK's alleged DUI. Dorito shares that PK was never booked. He was under the limit and drove home. So Garcelle in her confessional was like, well, I read that they allegedly took him home. And she was like, child, that wasn't going to happen to us. Honey, us black people, child, we would not get drove home. We would get drove over. Black men would not make it home like PK. Maybe he stopped in Wilmington and had big fun. Let's see. He had donuts. Donuts, PK. Donuts. So yeah, so I was like, girl, again, Dorit. I'm gonna leave Dorit alone. They bring up the whole Erika drinking thing, and she shares with Dorito that Erika was drunk. She fell and hit her head. So now Dorito's concerned about Erika's drinking. It might be too much. Oh, now you're concerned. Okay, so we'll see how that plays out. An episode with your concernedness. And of course, Dorito, she's in shock. She can't believe this. And she's like, I just need to keep an eye out on her. And I'm like, okay, sure. So Erika's at her shack with her crew. I think the one guy, he got his face don't move. She's pretty much talking about hair something, and then she's talking about good dick and how she sent the wrong text message to the wrong person about giving good dick. And child, if y'all don't know, Erika needs some good dick, because Tom wasn't giving her no good dick. Tom was just giving her that good coin that he stole from other people to give to her, so she can hella nice lifestyle from other people's money, but he was not giving her the good dick. And she talks about she wants to be a part-time dominatrix, anything to bring money in the house because there is no money and she's being sued. So as many jobs as she can get, maybe she could become a dominatrix. She can get an OnlyFans. She can get a Just for Fans. She can get a Pornhub. She can get all the good dick she need as being a dominatrix to help her pay for those lawsuits she has. Lisa and Sutton are having lunch together. Lisa shares that she's coming out with her own wine, Rena Rosé. Lisa says, people think I'm a bitch. People think I'm a bitch. I'm like, girl, okay, Lisa. And they pretty much just want to clear the air about the whole Elton John thing. And then Lisa's like, I've been torturing you. I've been talking behind your back. You were wrong. And listen, I'm thinking to myself, are we clearing the air? Or are you getting on her about the Elton John thing? I thought this was over with. Okay, Lisa will entertain you. And Sutton says, well, I'm not scared of you. Lisa says, I think that you are. I'm like, girl, okay, Lisa. She said, it's fun torturing you and blah, blah, blah. And Lisa apologizes for all those things. Now, listen to what I just said. She apologized. So you guys hold on to that. It's the day of Lisa's wine tasting, her new rosé, Lizard Lips, and Kyle and Crystal are at home with COVID. In the car, Sutton calls Crystal and they're talking, and she's like, I'm trying to bring you some soup, but Crystal's like, I'm okay. I've gained 5 pounds. And Sutton's like, oh wow, are you okay? Because we all know this Crystal has that eating disorder that she's dealing with right now. And Sutton says, you're gonna be okay, you look great. I'll give you all the tea once I leave, and blah blah blah. You keep doing, and stay safe. The ladies show up. Lisa asks Erika what she wants to drink. Erika hesitates for a minute, but then she says, I'll take some tea. Oh, that didn't last long. And they're talking about Harry and Lisa are talking about, it was actually a fun scene. They talked about how they had to pretty much get the house together because their whole team has COVID. And she's really good at blowing. And then they said, yes, we read your book. So honey, Cherie said, if you had to write a Yelp review about your wife's blowjobs, what would your rating be? So then Erika says, does Lisa give great blowjobs to Harry? And she's like a scale of 1 to 5, and Harry's like a 10. And I was like, girl, don't nobody want to know about you sucking Harry old ass white cock. I don't care. 70 years old. Yuck. Disgusting. Big lips. Yuck. So yeah, that was disgusting. So then Erika brings up the whole, them at the other night at Lizard Lips holiday party and how okay. So here's where I got a little annoyed. They bring up the whole eating disorder with Crystal, and instead of Erika saying, I was wrong for saying something about her, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, and instead of her friend, her good girlfriend, Lisa saying something, they continue to pretty much kind of get on Crystal like she needs help. She needs to seek therapy. She's talking about it, so clearly she needs to get help. And then Doritos, like, she's vomiting every day. And Garcelle is looking like, what? And Sutton says, maybe she is getting help. We don't know. And in her confessional, Sutton says, I don't like when people talk about each other when they're not here to defend themselves. And if you guys have all this advice for Crystal, why not share with her? Why talk about, like, this is not, oh, I don't like you, you don't like me. This is a serious thing, and she could be harming herself. And if you think she's harming herself, then won't you share with her, hey, we think that you should go and seek help. This is what I've been through. This is what my daughter's been through. Here's some information to help you out. Why don't you guys do that instead of getting on her and making it seem like she's wrong because she's talking about it? Maybe her way of talking about it is her trying to get help. Um, Sutton said I wasn't part of the conversation, so the conversation, I'm not going to take place of it. And I appreciate Sutton for saying that because, again, this is somebody talking. We're talking about an eating disorder, and child, the ladies move on and start drinking wine. So after they're doing the wine tasting, Dorito shares with Garcelle that one of her friends really like her. Garcelle, if I was you, I would stay away because I think that Dorit and PK are scammers and their friend might be a scammer. So this is a warning from Q. This is your warning from your good black brother. Stay away. They're like, how big is his head? How big is his penis? How big is his wallet? Of course, Erika asks how big his wallet is for her broke ass. So, Erika shares that she's having a lot of sex with the same person. Cherie's like, okay, girl, you getting it in. And, to her defense, she should be having a lot of sex because she was with that old ass Tom Girardi and he wasn't giving you nothing but headaches and other people's money. Dorit's like, talking to her and she's like, put the wine down. In her confession, she says, now that I know this information, I'm really concerned and worried about her. Oh, now you're worried about her. Okay. Well, at least she did tell her to put the wine down. She did more than her good girlfriend, Lisa. Lisa was watching her get drunk, having a good old time in Wilmington. Lisa's watching her having a good old time, child. So Erika says, oh, something's about to happen. Something's crazy is going to happen. I'm like, girl, that motherfucking wine down. Garcelle pulls Erika to the side and, pretty much talks to her about why she thinks Sutton's a liability. Erika says she feels like Sutton had to do Erika says she feels like Garcelle has to do a lot of cleanup for Sutton because Sutton's always in a mess. Garcelle wants to bring Sutton into the conversation because Sutton is there. And Erika's like, no, this isn't the time or place. And I'm like, why not? Why not bring her to her? Why not? She's here. We're all here. Bring her over. Let's talk about it. You just said it. Let's talk about it. Don't back up now. Don't be scared now. So then, Erika shares pretty much that, she doesn't think Garcelle would pretty much ride for her the same way she rides for Sutton. And Garcelle's like, well, and she's like, because I know you guys are closer. And I just felt like everything I've been through last year, I had to prove myself and things like that. And I think you still don't believe me. And Garcelle pretty much is like, no, I don't all the way believe you. So then in Erika's confessional, she's like, what have I done to you, Garcelle? What have I done to you? I'm gonna get my Erika voice together one day. She's like, what have I done to you, Garcelle? And, I haven't done anything. And I felt like, you guys were judgmental and you pretty much watched my life burn down. Girl, please. Y'all stole them people money and now it's getting paid back. And you made your life burn down. So as they go back to the couch, I lost my train of thought. As they go back to go sit down over with the other ladies, as soon as they sit down, honey Sutton get right into it. She says, I want to know why you think I am a liability. I said, oh, oh, all right, Sutton. And they show about 20 minutes earlier where Garcelle shares with Sutton that, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go over there and ask her why she thinks you're a liability. So that's what she does. And Sutton says, if you felt that kind of way, you should have brought it to me instead of going to Garcelle and telling Garcelle about that. So why am I a liability? So Erika says, because Garcelle has to clean up a lot of your mess. And what's the damn girl name? Sutton says that's what being a friend is. And Erika says, you got into a spat with me last year. No, she didn't get to a spat with you, Erika. She called you out because she knew you were lying, just like the rest of us know that you're lying. So then she got into something with Diane. No, Diane came, Lizard Lips came in swinging. And because that Sutton had to defend herself, And then she said she got into it with Dorit, but she didn't really get into it with Dorit. She felt like the rest of us felt like, oh, girl, okay, girl, you got robbed. Sure you did. Yeah, Dorit, you got robbed. Okay. She had a gun to her head, Garcelle. A gun. And Garcelle pretty much has to be there to defend her and clean up. And Garcelle says, why are you guys making me feel like I'm being a bad friend for one, why is it that I feel bad for being a good friend? And Erika uses the example of when Sutton was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy earlier this year or whenever she was. And she talked about the whole Elton John thing with the tickets and how Lisa didn't say thank you because Lisa was mad about some fucking sauce Harry made because she didn't hear Garcelle say thank you 50 fucking times. Garcelle said thank you one time, bitch, that was enough. Thanks for the sauce. Thank you. So Lisa starts to get upset and she's like, you made a big fuss about it. And Lisa's like, you was trying to humiliate me. And Sutton says, no, and she says, Sutton, there's a reason why you don't like me and you need to figure it out. I'm looking like, girl, what? Okay. So then Sutton's like, so then Lisa's like, trying to act like a badass. And Sutton was like, it's very funny because at our lunch, this was a different conversation. But now that you're in front of an audience, you want to play, the fence, play the other side. And Lisa's like, no, this is how I feel. And, it was messed up. You pretty much, you're fucking with the wrong person. And I'm like, girl, what? Whatever. So Lisa says, you don't respect me. I want to drag you. I want to torture you. And then Sutton's like, well, you said sorry at the lunch. And Lisa's like, did I say sorry? Did I? I'm like, yes, you said sorry. You said sorry for the way you was acting towards her. You said sorry. So then Lisa's, of course, acting like she's never did it. And she's talking, she's just talking crazy. Then Child Sutton says, I like you most days. I said, oh, Sutton, okay. So then Sutton says, Lisa, you talk out the side of your mouth, out the side of your neck. And Lisa says, you do the same thing. And then Lisa says, and you know what? You do the same thing and fuck you. And Sutton's like, what? So Lisa's like, you actually can get out of my house talking like that with that kind of language. If I was Sutton, baby, the way I would have grabbed my purse and my big ass bow that was on my side of my neck and got up and told that bitch I've been kicked out of better. Bye, bitch. Fuck you in this raggedy ass fucking house. You need to pressure wash this motherfucker. That's a Married to Medicine quote for all your Married to Medicine fans out there. And then Lisa starts yelling and she's like, you can come after me, but don't you come after my husband, don't you come after my kids. Because if you come after my husband, I will hunt you down. I'm like, girl, you don't sit your drunk ass down some fucking where. And that pajama set you got on trying to impress somebody in this dusty ass goddamn mold infested house. Girl, sit the fuck down some damn well. And then she's like, you humiliated yourself and you made yourself look like a fool. And Sutton looking at her like, girl, okay, girl. And they all start making fun of her like, talk about the kids. And then the episode goes off. This episode pretty much was Lisa trying to make sure she secured her spot for next year because she knows that she's probably on the out. She's boring as hell. And you only had to tell me one time. You would only have to tell me one time to get the fuck up out of your house with pleasure. I'll see my way out, bitch. And don't you step foot in my motherfucking beautiful ass house. I won't come back to this motherfucking raggedy ass clown house again. That's what Sutton should have told her ass. Anyway, this is an okay episode. Actually, it was a good episode. We got down to we're getting there. I can't wait for Garcelle to let Erika drunk ass have it. I can't wait for Kathy to let Lisa ass have it. And, we'll see what happens from here. Like I said, it was a good episode. I really, really do enjoy Beverly Hills Housewives. So, yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe, and look out for more reviews. Turn your notification bells on. Everybody have a good night. Peace.